Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. I'm George Camel, joined this hour by the incredible Jade Warshaw. There will never be another one. It's the only one. She's that unique and special, and we are happy to take your calls today about life, money, and everything in between. The number to call is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225.
George, I feel the same way about you.
Wow, thank you.
You
that
know?
means you always come up with fun adjectives. I don't have it today.
The
Incredible.
parsimonious George Camel.
We've been hanging out with Ken Coleman too long. We're coming
That's
up with
right.
$10 words. Well, Jade, as we get the phones going, I uploaded this video today on my YouTube channel. It was called Why Most People Will Never Be Millionaires.
Ooh!
And I broke down the 4 mistakes people make when it comes to building wealth and investing.
I love that.
And I've never seen a more aggressive, controversial comment section.
I mean, I'm sure the people were feeling attacked, George.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
I just defined what a millionaire is, and I about exploded the internet by accident.
Can you tell us more? Like, even I'm like, tell me more.
She's so intrigued. You'll have to subscribe to my YouTube channel to find out.
Oh.
No, well, here's the thing. As I opened the video, I said, let's just be clear what a millionaire is, because some of y'all are confused out there.
Yes, clear it up, George.
A millionaire is not someone with $1 million salary.
Right?
A millionaire is someone who has a net worth of $1 million or more.
Right.
Assets minus liabilities equals net worth.
Hey, well, for the people who are like, hey, I'm a first-time listener, I'm just getting this money thing, explain assets versus liabilities.
Yes. So assets are things that you own, like your house, your car, your bank account, your retirement accounts. All of those count as assets.
That's right.
Your liabilities are your debts.
That's right.
So it's that simple.
All of the debts.
What you own minus what you owe equals your net worth. And I cannot tell you how many people said, well, I don't think he should count his house as part of his net worth because that's not an income-producing asset. And they're trying to get all smart with me, Jade. And I don't have the heart or the energy. I think I'm getting too old and curmudgeonly to have to fight back in the comment section.
You want to know what? They're just dead wrong. And
it's their American right to be wrong.
Yeah, it's their right to be wrong. That's right, George. But why wouldn't they want you to be right? I don't understand why the argument. I like solutions where more people get involved on the action.
You lost everyone when you said I like solutions. People like drama and they like problems and they want to wallow and complain and tell you all the reasons why they can't.
George, you are snappy right now, and I am for it. I'm for this.
It's going to be a hot show.
Yeah, this is my favorite
You know what,
version.
Jade? I'm done with cynicism. Because I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was the troll in the comment section going, it'll never be me, and I don't want anyone else to have it either. And now I'm just going like, I know too much
I feel
to be
that.
cynical. I know what hope can do for people.
Yeah.
And I want to give you guys a taste of that. If you want to call on the show, let's talk about it.
Let's do it. George, I love that. And by the way, if you haven't checked out George's YouTube channel, you really should. I feel like this is the George everybody needs to see. This is all facets
Real
of George. Snappy, smart. George is one of the smartest people I know.
Aw, so kind.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not saying you're the smartest is because I don't want to insult some people who might be listening right now.
Dave Ramsey. namely Dave Ramsey. No, I appreciate that. $5 to Venmo on Jade goes a long way, it turns out. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Let's get to the phones. Megan joins us in Atlanta up first. Megan, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. I love you all so much, and I'm looking for your wisdom today.
Sure. How can we help?
So I am finalizing my divorce. First of all, thank you so much for all of the videos on financial abuse and financial infidelity from previous callers. That really helped to validate my situation and know that I'm making the best choice.
I'm so sorry, Megan.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. But I'm at a point where I want to be the wisest possible with how I pay out my ex. So I did decide to keep the house. We already went through mediation and negotiated that. And I need to pay him out $185,000. I have a few different options. I have a spreadsheet in front of me, so I'm just trying to figure out the wisest choice.
Sure.
So what to know about our current mortgage, we only have 17 years left on it. We have a 2% interest rate, which is just killing me to get rid of. And we owe about $190. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to just, go and do a cash out refinance. That being said, a cash out refinance, changing it to a 30-year loan, taking out that 185 is option number one with the current mortgage interest rates. Obviously, that option is heartbreaking. Let me know if you have questions because I'm kind of running through everything really quickly.
Sure. Yeah. What's up? So that's option number one is cash out refi.
That's option number one.
Option number two?
Option number two would be to get a home equity line of credit for that 185. I currently have zero debt, zero student loans, zero credit cards, zero car notes, anything like that. So I could get a pretty good interest rate on that. I've already talked to the bank. But I have a hesitancy about taking out another loan. And it might just be in my head from, not wanting to take out loans. And then my third option is, I think, the most controversial, which I've been going back and forth on quite a bit and running a lot of numbers, which would be withdrawing $200K out of my 401k.
Oh.
And then essentially taking, just like working really hard to get the tax penalties paid by tax time, and then throwing just a ton in my 401k after I'm done. I'm lucky enough that my employer does a 10% match, and so I feel like I could recoup that.
You're going to spend your whole life trying to get back to where you were in that 401k. I don't want that for you.
And this is why I want your wisdom. So, yeah.
You're between a rock, a hard place, and a really dumb place.
Yeah.
And so we want to help you give you a fourth option.
Hey, let me ask you, so you're wanting to keep, can I ask more questions about why you want to keep this house and not do a fresh start? Is it kids? Can you give me more information on that?
Yeah, good question. So it's kids, it's school district, and it's also with the housing market right now. If I were to take that 180 plus our equity, it would be impossible for me to get a house anywhere near what I currently have for what I'm paying for it. So, it seems like a very wise choice. It's worth almost $8. And so, yeah, it felt like the better long-term financial plan. But, feel free to poke holes in it.
Well, I know I don't like option 2 and 3. Those are just absolutely, the HELOC and the 401k is definitely not it in my book.
Yeah, option 1 is your best option so far, but I'm with Jade on wondering, can we actually afford this house if this is where we're at, if these are the options? I would love for you to do a cash out refi and stick to a 15-year. Obviously, that's going to be tough with just your single income, correct?
Mm-hmm. I can do it. So I make $150,000. Like I said, I have literally zero debt besides this mortgage note. So I can do it. I've not only been pre-approved, like I've done all the numbers.
Oh, good.
Something about losing that 2% interest rate that just breaks my heart.
But Meg, I'm going to tell you right now, that is your best bet. And if the rates go down, you can refinance later on. But I'm not going to argue over 2% versus 6%. I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do and it's the least harmful to your financial future. Thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 40% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, joined by my colleague, Jade Warshaw. There we go.
There
Open
we go.
phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in if you need some confirmation, affirmation, inspiration, motivation from Jade. That's her specialty.
Well, you're preaching over there.
She pumps me up every day. The best. All right, let's get to let's get to our question of the day first, Jade. It comes from Neighborly,
Okay.
and they're your hub for home services here in Tennessee. We've got mosquito the size of turkey buzzards here. They're frightening.
Yes.
They're about as big as me. But Neighborly's trusted service brands like Mosquito Joe help make sure anyone, even in the South, can enjoy their backyard all summer. So go to neighborly.com to find providers near you.
That's right. Today's question of the day comes from the Ramsey Steps Facebook group. Great communities there on Facebook. And this person says, what baby step would you vote as the most important?
Whoa, it's like picking our favorite child.
I know.
That's a fun question.
This is interesting.
This is opinion.
This
Let's
is
just put it out there.
Yes, this is op-ed. I would say that this is like my they're all important. It's very hard for me. I mean, they build on each other, right? Because it's a plan. So it's like one thing has to be true in order for the next thing to be true. So on the one hand, I'm like, yes, you've got to get debt free. Like if you get debt free, that's changing your life. But if you get debt free and you never save for retirement, you're up a creek, right? So I'm going to vote the non-vote vote.
You can't do that.
Okay, baby step 2 is my favorite.
Oh,
but it's not the most important.
She put it out there.
It's my favorite, but it's not the most important.
That's a good way to say it. They said most important, though, so you have to choose.
Well, George, maybe you should just choose.
All right. Well, for those listening, like, what in the incarnation are they talking about right now? Let me just lay them out real quick so that you can cast your vote, America. Baby step 1, $1,000 starter emergency fund. Baby step 2, get out of all consumer debt using the debt snowball method. Baby step 3, fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Baby step 4, invest 15% of your household income into retirement. Baby step 5, put away some money for the kids' college funds. Then baby step 6, pay off the house early. And then baby step 7, build wealth and give and be outrageously generous. So, I mean, you can hear that. You're like, which one is the most important? I'm going to say,
hard to say.
I'm going to say the most important for your financial future is baby step 4.
Yes.
Investing, building wealth, being able to retire with dignity, because that is going to give you a great life, 20 years from now, for the next 30 years after that.
Yeah.
But baby step 2, I think, is my most favorite, and I think the most paradigm shift.
Yeah, it's
and
pivotal.
the most freeing.
Yes. Yeah, and yeah, that's a really good point, George, because here's the thing, and here's where I kind of take this, is a lot of people will look at the baby steps and they'll go, I think these are the most important. I think it's the most important to do baby steps 1 through 3. And then they kind of like go off on a tangent and do their own thing. And it's like, no, you don't do the baby steps based on the ones you think are your favorite or the ones you think are going to be the most important. You choose to work the plan or you choose not to work the plan. That's the way because, there's so many things, George, that we ask people to do along the way because we know where they're headed. Like we say, pause your investing while you're paying off debt.
Controversial.
Right? It's controversial, but we are saying that because we know what comes next. So if you're the person who's like, oh, okay, I'm going to pay off my debt, but you're like lollygagging through it and you're not being intense like we tell you to, like these are the things that I'm weighing in my mind. They're all important. And if you're going to do this plan, do this plan. I'm going to render this question as a not good question.
Oh, wow. Shots fired at the Baby Steps Facebook group.
I'm saying the question that you need to be asking is not this one. I'm going to try to figure out a better question.
That's fair.
Instead of saying what baby step do you vote is most important, maybe you should ask.
The one that you're on.
Come on, George.
I just totally went philosophical on you.
That's right.
The most important one is where you need to be at. If you're in debt, baby step 2 is the most important.
Come on, somebody.
If you have no emergency savings, but you don't have any debt, baby step 3 is the most important. I will say that
be where your feet are.
The Ramsey plan, what I love about it is it's more than about money. It's about transformation. It's about living counterculturally. And for that, I will say baby step 2 is the crux of the plan.
100%. Most people will go through their life and never pay off all their debt. Their debt they'll always have a car note.
And it's the most confusing. It's the most like, wait, what? You want me to get out of all debt? Like cut up the credit cards?
Yeah.
And, Romans 12:2 Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's right.
Baby step 2 is the most transformational renewing of the mind paradigm shift I can think of when you go, oh my gosh, this whole world of debt and the culture and the marketing and consumerism, it's like we're living in this simulation.
Yeah.
And if we can just unplug and go, I don't have to be a part of that. I can live on
Yes.
my terms. I can live with freedom and peace and joy and margin and options and meaning. That is what getting out of debt does for you. And then the next steps are kind of like, okay, cool. Now we can have some money in the bank and be investing for the future and kind of get these things on autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the next like baby step 2, definitely different from what culture would teach. I even think baby step 6 a little bit.
Oh,
the
yeah.
idea of paying off your home mortgage early, and the way we teach a 15-year fixed rate mortgage is what we prefer.
In this economy, Jade, are you kidding me? They live in an alternate universe where you can get a 15-year... Yes, math hasn't changed since history has began. I'm sorry. So that's a very controversial one.
It is. What do you think's the hardest one?
Oh, I think baby step 3 is the hardest because you're done paying for the past, but you're not quite ready to build for the future.
Yes.
And it's just this non-excitement midway point in the marathon. There's no one's cheering you on. There's no live band. You're just kind of on your own. Yeah,
and I think after you've paid off debt during baby step 2, you've spent all this time sacrificing. Let's be honest, you want to give yourself a little something, and you're like, come on, can I
Not
do something?
quite time to treat yourself.
It's not yeah, that's right. It's not time to treat yourself.
Oh my goodness. That's
so
a
good,
fun
George.
Conversation.
It is.
Thank you for indulging us. All right, Hector is up next in San Antonio. Hector, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, how can we help?
Hey, wow. So thanks for taking my call. I've been listening to the show for about a year, and my wife and I have just finished paying off her vehicle. So as of last Friday, we are completely debt-free.
Woo!
Yeah, it feels good. It feels really good. And the next thing, I guess, because now we don't make a whole lot. Her and I both work full-time. She's about to have to quit work for a little while because our first child's going to be born next month.
Congrats.
Thank you. We're really excited. I just don't know. I don't know what to do next. I had an emergency savings, and unfortunately, at our home, the well burned up on our property, so I had to replace the entire system, and that set my emergency savings back, and now I have about $3,600 in cash, and about another $1,000 in our savings account in the bank.
Okay, so you got no debt, but you have $4,600 liquid cash, and you're about to have a baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts you at baby step 3, but you're also in what we call stork mode because this baby's coming, and we got to make sure mom and baby are home healthy, safe, and we have the funds to cover anything that comes up. And so it kind of is a dual. You're doing baby step 3, but really you're saving for mom and baby right now. Mm-hmm. And if mom and baby are safe and good and healthy, then that can be your baby step 3. So just start building, start saving up, stack up cash.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use it, don't touch it.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right?
Yeah, we were just talking about how baby step 3 is the hardest.
But when it comes to having a baby, when it comes to having a baby, like nothing gives you more peace than knowing, all right, like we're not focusing on anything else. It's just the well-being of the situation. And once baby is born at home, most people hit their deductible and have to at least meet that. So knowing that you've got that money saved up and ready is going to be very helpful.
Yeah. So however much money you can save up in the next month before baby gets here, that's your next goal.
Okay.
It's that simple and it's that hard. I wish I had some life-changing, like, here's the secret sauce, man. Just save up. If you got to get side jobs, if you got to sell stuff, now is the time to do it, to get your financial foundation in place. And then hopefully, I'm praying that mom and baby are home safe, that stays as your emergency fund. You keep building on top of that till you get to 3 to 6 months. Then we begin investing.
That's right.
Just in time for baby. That's fun, man. You're changing your family tree. Proud of you guys. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. We are giving you some money advice, and it's free, so take that into consideration when you call. The number is 888-825-5225. I'm George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. And hey, if you're a new listener and you want to dive deeper into the Ramsey baby steps that we've been talking about, you can go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. Our team has created a really cool tool that will help you figure out what the next best step is for your financial journey based on where you're at today. So go to RamseySolutions.com and click on Get Started. Jonathan is up next in my hometown, Boston, Massachusetts. What's going on, Jonathan?
How are you, sir?
Very good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm here from I'm an hour from Boston, and I love real estate, but I'm currently a truck driver, and I got 2 rental properties, but I'm in $100,000 of debt, and I was wondering if I should just stick to baby step number 2 and pay off like slowly this debt of $100K, or if I should just sell one of these properties because I have a good amount of equity and just make that step quicker to being debt free.
Is that $100K, is that consumer debt, or is that including any debt on the rentals as well?
That's like 20K is I owe for my dad that I borrowed for the renovation. 40 is credit card, and the rest is like it's all split up in different little.
Are these like personal loans or what?
The rest is I have.
Sorry, you didn't answer my question. So the renos are? You paid cash for the renos? Or
no,
for
no,
the rentals?
Sorry. No, they're not. They're both financed.
Okay, what do you owe on each rental?
One of them I owe $250, and the other one I owe $500.
Oh my goodness!
Goodness gracious!
Are you even cash flowing on this stuff? It sounds like you're probably breaking even if you're lucky.
I don't even care.
Well, one of them, my mortgage is $1,700, and I get around like three and a half.
I just feel like you're one misstep away from this house of cards crumbling.
Yeah.
With $100,000 in debt, and that the $40,000 in credit cards, that's probably what 20-something% interest on that.
Yeah. Trust me, that's why I'm calling, because I'm very stressed out. I've always wanted to get into real estate, but I've never had somebody to guide me. So
look,
I did like the opposite of what Dave.
Hey, Dave, we've all done dumb, and Dave did it with a whole lot more zeros than we'll ever know. So it's okay. We want to help you, and you can undo some of this, and I think selling the rentals is probably part of that, because right now you need a clean slate.
No, I know it is, George. Not I think, because...
What's your income?
My income right now, it's about $50K a year.
Yeah, these rentals are gone, man.
Yeah. No.
If you were making $300,000, I'd be like, all right, let's pay off this $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
But $50K, you're going to be crawling for years trying to pay off this debt.
Yeah, so it's like me and my dad, we kind of like we bought them together, both houses. We bought them together.
In both of your names?
No, just it's all in my name. It's all in my name.
This is all your debt.
Yeah, so this is all my debt, and me and my dad are like, we were working hard on doing the baby step number 2 to pay off this debt.
But why is he involved with your debt payoff?
Forever. Well, because he lives in one of the properties, and he bought it with me as well.
So he's paying you rent?
No.
This is real confusing.
Rent. Yeah,
you said he lives in one of them.
So he's living in one, and you're not getting the money every month in his rent. He's just, what's he doing with that money that he would have paid for you in rent?
We're paying off debt. We're paying off all this debt that we owe, because we had to renovate, and it was on pandemic.
Okay.
And our budget went over, so we had to borrow money.
This is I'm not mad at you for wanting to get into real estate. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people see it as a quick path to earning money or a quick path to wealth. But there's a right and a wrong way to do it as you're learning. And I'm sure that you feel an enormous weight, Jonathan, right? To know that you owe $500K, $250K, and another $100K in debt. And I've got to believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but because you're tangled up in this with your dad, with a family member, there's probably a lot of pressure, right, to make this right and get right side up on this.
And there's some sunk cost fallacy, because you guys have sunk a lot of money into this stuff, and now to back out of all of it feels like, no, we just got to keep going. We'll crawl our way out. We'll dig a hole all the way through it.
And well, that's why it's a fallacy, because just because you got a hold of it doesn't mean you can't stop, go a different direction, and sell off this property. And honestly, what George said, I 100% agree. I think that these rentals need to go on the market today. Both of them. If you were to sell them today, what would you make off of each one?
On the one that I owe $500, which is it's a 4-family on an acre lot here in a really good city.
Okay.
I could get like $400 to $500.
In equity.
Off that one. Yes, in equity.
And you would have to split it. Hold on. And I'm guessing 50% has to go to your dad. Is that the agreement?
Yeah. That would be.
Did he put half the money down?
Yes.
Okay, so let's assume that if you said this is a deal you did with your dad, I'm assuming it's 50-50s. So if you got 400, then you'd get to take home 200.
You're saying this thing would sell for $900,000?
It would sell for $1 million. I already got it.
It'd sell for $1 million, and you're saying after the mortgage is paid off, after fees are taken out, you would walk away with $400 total.
Oh yeah, with real estate fee, no.
Okay. I would factor all that in, start to do the math. But either way, if you sold one or both of these, you could pay off all of your debt. Mm-hmm. And probably start to knock out the other rental if you just sold this one.
Yeah, exactly. So the other one, it's a 3-family, and that one I owe right now around $250 on it.
Okay.
And in that one I could get $400, like $500 max.
Okay, and then split with your dad, assuming. So you'd be bringing home about $250. So what I really want you to go away from this call understanding is that A, you need to sell off these properties. You need to get debt free as soon as these properties sell. But very closely underneath that, I really want to make sure that you and your dad are very clear on what this deal is. Because in asking you, it kind of sounds like, that sounds about right.
I think we said that.
Yeah.
We need some real clear terms written in a contract.
Mm-hmm. And under overarching all of this, I understand that you and your dad went into this as an agreement or a deal or something that you were going to do together. Sounds like nothing's in writing. And if you're feeling some sort of pressure from your dad to hang on to these properties because maybe he's living in one or he feels like he's got money to make off of it, that is something that you guys really need to get into, because all of this is in your name, right? So if you want to sell them, you can. Right? Are you feeling pressure?
Yes. Yeah, well, I feel pressure because, like, I live in one of the units, too. So, like, where am I going to put me and my family in?
You're going to have cash.
My mom, my dad.
You're going to have plenty of cash after you sell these to take care of new living situations for you, and then your dad, that's up to him to decide what he does with his portion of the cash.
Yeah, maybe get a primary residence where you just live there, and then if you want to buy investment property later, do it with cash. But right now, I'm looking at a guy making $50K who owes $850, and I can't breathe, man.
Okay?
Let's restart and do this the right way. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Quick reminder that we're deep in summertime now, and I love there's a lobby full of wonderful people who traveled from all over the country to come hang out with us. Maybe it's a pit stop, maybe it's the destination. But I want to invite you all to come by. A lot of people don't know. Look, they're all waving if you're watching on YouTube. You can come by and just hang out in the headquarters. We've got free cookies and baked goods in the coffee shop at Baker Street. We've got a timeline wall museum. It's a whole experience. And Nashville is a great city to visit to begin with. So for no other reason than that. But we'd love for you to come by and walk away with a free mug, free cookies, smiles, and come see us through the glass like zoo animals. It's a good time.
Well, we also go out there and talk with the people, George.
That's right. Twice an hour, we'll go out, we'll take pictures and sign things and have a good time. I love meeting everyone, hearing your stories. So there's your invitation. Don't say I didn't invite you. There it is. Let's get to the phones. Leroy is up next in Denver. Leroy, welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I got a quick question. So I'm looking to pay my mortgage off. We paid off all our debt, and right now we're doing extra payments. My question is, I'm considering reducing my contribution to my 401k. Right now I'm contributing 20%, and I'm contemplating reducing that down to like 10% to get more money on the check and pay more towards my mortgage. Right now I'm at right at under $100,000 to pay off our mortgage. So it's the end is we're getting closer, and I'm eagerly wanting to just pay it off. And I was wondering if you think that'd be a good idea.
Cool. It's a great question. And I love that you're gung-ho about paying this thing off, and you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're getting a little antsy, and that can cause us to do some extreme things. And you've been extreme on the investing side, and I say we split the difference.
Yeah.
And come down to 15%.
Yeah, I love that idea.
15.
Yeah, that's the amount that we would suggest, 15% of your gross. And then that's going to obviously give you 5% more than what you had before to put towards retirement. And to put towards your mortgage, and you're able to be as intense as you'd like to be with that.
So what would that do to the mortgage? If you went down to 15%, how much money would that free up? How much faster would it speed up this home payoff?
So it'll free up about $1,000 a month extra.
That's
that
great.
I can
just by
going
going 5%?
Mortgage payment. Yeah.
Wow. You guys must have an awesome income.
We're doing really well. So all my income goes to the bills. My wife's income goes to the mortgage. So we make about a payment and a half each month, and I'd like to double it. And if I can get it paid off in like a year or maybe 2 years, then we become completely debt free.
Yeah. Then we can really ramp up investing.
Exactly. So, and you're saying drop it down to at least 15%.
Just right at 15% until the house is paid off, and then once you're there, you can bump it up to 20%, 25, 35%.
Do what you want.
Increase your giving, increase some of your spending, and enjoy some of it. And I think that's a well-balanced approach to all of this.
That's exciting.
Okay,
You're going to be there. You're going to be there in a year, you said?
I'd like to go at it aggressively. Right now, if I can do $2,000 a month, I can probably get it paid off in about 3 years.
That's great. How old are you, Leroy?
I just turned 50.
Way to go. Way to go. That's exciting stuff.
Huge part of your wealth building journey, and it's going to help you retire with dignity and maybe even early at this point. I mean, imagine having no house payment and being able to invest 30% of your income.
That's the plan. We bumped it up to 20 when the stock tanked, and we've been at it at 20% for a little over a year and a half, and it's grown pretty good. We're happy where we're at. So I'm to the point where I've got enough in there to where I can cut back a little bit and just go after the mortgage to be completely debt free.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. And you've got some catch-up contributions too once you hit 50, which is going to only help your wealth building journey at this point. So
That's right.
Love that. You guys are changing family tree, man. Thanks
stuff.
for the question. Bree is up next in Indianapolis. Bree, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. What's going on?
My husband and I recently lost my in-laws, both within 2 months of each other.
Oh, my goodness.
But we are going to be inheriting some money from them, and we just kind of wanted to know what was the next step. We've never inherited money before, and so we just want to make sure we're doing it right. We're going to be getting about $80,000 cash, and then I think around $260 or so in investments. We just weren't sure. The only debt we have so far currently is our mortgage. So we were trying to decide, do we roll those investments into another investment account or leave those alone, or do we go to paying off our mortgage? Just kind of what's the next step?
Yeah, great question. Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your in-laws. Was it just a health-related old age, or what happened?
One was a complete surprise, had heart surgery, and then ended up with MRSA and passed away.
Oh.
And then my mother-in-law had been fighting a year-long battle with cancer.
Wow.
So it was just a lot in a couple months.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys leave some space to grieve, and you're wanting to approach this wisely. But we always say don't make any big moves after something like this happens, something traumatic, something you've got to grieve. So it's okay to just let that money sit for 6 months in a savings account.
Okay.
Or in the investment account. So don't feel like we've got to do something with this now. Next, what is left on your mortgage?
We've got $300,000 left.
Okay. And you have an emergency fund and no consumer debt?
Yes. Nope.
Great. And you're already investing 15%?
Yes. We've been investing for probably 15 years now, so we've got a pretty decent investment kind of portfolio saved up. Cool.
And do you know what these investments are that you are inheriting?
I think we're meeting with them next week. That's why I wanted to call and get your guys' opinion and have a heads up before I went in there. But I believe they're IRAs.
All right. So I would obviously look into the tax implications if you did, withdraw this money. You want to make sure you do it wisely. So I would kind of set up a team around you as you inherit this money and you want to walk wisely. Number one, get a good investment pro in your corner. We call them SmartVestor Pros, and we can connect you with one at RamseySolutions.com. The other that you can also get connected with there is a tax pro to understand all of the tax implications and what this means, with the IRS come tax time. Because I don't want you guys to have a huge burden you weren't expecting when you cashed it out, paid off the mortgage, and we're celebrating, and now the IRS is like, you owe us $60,000. And you're like, oh, gosh.
And that was our other fear, because I didn't know what all came with that. And I know different states have different taxes on inheritance. So
exactly. So everything's going to be state specific, depending on what kind of investments, and if taxes have already been paid on those investments, with a Roth account, for example, there'll be different implications. So just make sure you do your due diligence there. But my goal for you guys would be to get that house paid off.
And that's kind of where we're at, too, is, man, we're so close, and we were planning on having it paid off within 8 to 10 years. We've been paying double payments for quite a while. And,
awesome. You guys sound like you have a fantastic income.
Well, it's way better than it's ever been. My husband, between the two of us, we make like $95,000. So it's not a lot, but we just... the baby steps, and you guys have definitely changed our lives. We started following you when we got married and have just been really on those baby steps, and we're trying to get our house paid off and moving on to that next step. So
very good.
Well,
I think this will get us there,
Yeah.
hopefully sometime.
And it's a silver lining. What a blessing and legacy they left you guys. Instead of a pile of mess, they left you with this incredible blessing that propels your financial future and helps you guys leave a legacy.
We are so thankful for that, because they were probably two of the most selfless people that I know and did everything for their family. And so I know this is a huge blessing, and we want to honor that for them and do what we can to keep our family stable and secure.
Incredible.
That is
incredible
beautiful
stuff.
Well, it sounds like you guys are on track financially. I would use as much of that money as you can to pay off this mortgage and looking into all the implications and taxes and all that. But once you do that, you'll still have money left over. So keep a lot of that in investments and keep it rolling. Way to go. Thanks so much for the call. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to my co-host, Jade Warshaw, all the folks in the booth keeping the show afloat, and you, America. Thank you for listening. We'll be back before you know it. Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. I'm George Camel, joined this hour by Jade Warshaw, and we are taking your calls at 888-825-5225. This is a show that is about you, it's for you. We want to see you win in every area of your life. And, of course, money is a huge part of that. And Jade and I would be happy to walk you through your burning questions, celebrate your successes, and help you make that right next step financially. 888-825-5225. Gage kicks us off in Sacramento. Gage, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, so I had a quick question. I have about $20,000 worth of credit card debt right now. I'm just turned 25. I also still owe about $9,000 on my car. What I'm calling about is I'm currently in the process of getting into a flight school in San Diego. That's going to be taking up about 2 years of my time, full-time schooling. So I'm curious, what's the best way to go about this debt? I've talked to some people and they've recommended like a bankruptcy to just wipe the slate clean. So once I get a career, I'm not still drowning in that debt. I just kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion. And
who is some people? Who did you talk to?
Probably not the smartest people. I don't have a ton of financially literate friends. Sorry
these are your friends. Like you asked broke people for financial advice and they gave it to you. And they said, dude, declare bankruptcy, clean slate. It's going to help your career.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think it sounded that smart, all that smart.
You knew that was bad advice.
I mean, you're here calling us, so I'm glad you didn't make that move yet because it's absolutely not the move you should be making.
Thank you.
What's your income?
Making about $48,000 per year.
Will that change with flight school?
So while I'm in flight school, I don't believe I'll be making income. The school is going to be 100% accredited by the VA. So
okay, so you're not paying a dime for the school.
No.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's amazing.
Flight school is expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is not cheap.
Okay, so school's covered. How are you going to pay for the bills? Do you have any bills at that point? Are they covering room and board?
I have a few small bills that could be paid with, just Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, things like that. I was kind of figuring like free time.
Yeah, are you able to work?
Full time. So I'm not sure exactly what the schedule will look like. I currently work full time. I've worked full time since I was 17. I just turned 25. So
okay.
Cool.
How long till flight school starts?
I'm planning on starting in January, so about 5 months.
Okay.
That's good.
My question is, can we clean this debt up in 5 months? Do you think you could do that?
I believe so. Like I said, I've kind of, how I've grown up, I haven't grown up around a lot of financially literate people, so I don't really know the steps to start taking. I just found Dave Ramsey a couple weeks ago. I've been watching, the baby steps and watching a lot of his content and just trying to get ahead here.
Well, we can help you with the steps. Just a quick question. Are you going to have a housing allowance once you start doing that flight school through the VA?
So that's still in the process. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
If I'm not, then I'll 100% have to find, a real steady source of income. But again,
Right.
I'm not too worried about that. I don't have any problem, finding a job or working.
Do you have any money in the bank?
I don't. I've been living paycheck to paycheck for the past few years now. And most of that is all my fault, just making dumb decisions. But I want to start getting ahead and getting things together.
Self-awareness is the first step.
That's
so I'm
right.
proud of you for even owning that instead of just blaming everything and everyone else for the problems. That tells me you're going to get out of this thing. So what is the car worth?
No, this was pretty much just me. You said, what is the car worth?
Yeah.
I believe at Blue Books, I probably looked it up a couple months ago, somewhere around 10.5.
Okay. So I'm just thinking if you really wanted to get out, I want you out of debt by flight school so that you have a life and, you can work to pay the bills, but you're not trying to also tackle all of this debt. And you've got some time. You got 5 months to really go hard at this thing and work extra and do the Uber and Lyft on top of your full-time job. And if you threw, $5 or $6K a month at this thing, it's gone. So the question is, what is that gap to where we need to make to get $5 or $6K a month thrown at the debt?
Yeah.
Because right now, what's your take-home pay?
My take-home pay, right around $2,000 per check.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
And I get paid bi-weekly.
Okay. So
Okay,
bringing in about
$4,000
$4,000 a month. And obviously you got to make your debt payments. You have rent right now?
Yes, but my rent is very cheap.
How cheap?
Currently paying about $600 a month.
Okay, good.
That is cheap for Sacramento. I was like, cheap for Californians is very different.
Right,
They're like, it's only
right.
$3,000 a month. That's cheap.
No, good job.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like I said, I have been kind of a fool with my money, so I need to start getting ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to wanting to pay off debt, it's a pretty simple equation. We're trying to lower our expenses as much as possible while simultaneously increasing our income as much as possible in order to have as much money as possible to throw out this debt. So that's what you're looking to do. That should be the mindset that you filter all of your choices through for the next 5 months. Is this going to bring my expenses down, or is this going to drive my income up? And so that's the idea here for the next 5 months. And then once you get into flight school, you're going to kind of have to reevaluate your situation, find out what your time is going to be like, find out if you're getting a home allowance, because if you are, that's great. That frees up some money. Find out how much you're going to be able to work. So you've kind of got two equations that you're looking at. One is the now and the current, and the next one is here in the future, what that's going to look like with your new obligations in flight school.
What's your car payment?
My car payment, $256 per month.
Okay. It may not be worth selling the car because I think you can pay it off pretty quickly, and you'd have to go around and buy something else anyways, and you don't have any money to do that. So I would attack that car payment first. I mean, I know you got the credit card debt. Are those multiple cards?
It's 2 cards, yes. So
Okay. What's the lowest balance?
The majority of the amount is on one card, and then about like $1,000 is on the other card.
Okay.
Cool. And then it's making the choice also to say, I'm not using credit cards anymore. So if you haven't yet cut up these credit cards, make sure you've cut those up. Once they're paid off, close out.
I haven't used a credit card in like some months now.
Okay, great. So you've learned your lesson there, never to go back again. Very good.
All right. So I'm going to gift you 1 year of Financial Peace University and 1 year of Every Dollar Premium to help you on this journey, making a plan for every one of those dollars, creating that margin, seeing the progress, learning the steps, because you said you're new to all this stuff. So that is my gift to you, not only as a veteran, but someone who's new to this program, and we're thankful for you, Gage. So hang on the line. We'll gift that to you. And for all of the rest of you listening who might be jealous because Gage just got some free stuff, we have an awesome limited time deal right now. If you want to jump in on Every Dollar, you want the premium version, $15 off and a 2-week free trial to check it out. You can go to everydollar.com/George and get that deal. Tell them I sent you. Won't you? So that's it. The plan is that simple and it's that hard. There's no magic tricks here. There's no secret sauce.
That's
you are
right.
the secret sauce. Spend less, make more, throw as much of the debt as possible, get some emergency savings in the bank, then you can start building for the future. There is no other way. You cannot convince me. This is The Ramsey Show.
Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. 888-825-5225 is the number to call if you want to jump in and talk about your life and your money. Well, Jade, the news of the last week or two has been the student loan payments restarting.
That's right. I know that's right.
Which has caused a lot of people to start panicking for good reason. They're freaking out because they have not been budgeting for this payment. They haven't been making payments.
That's right.
One stat showed 99% of people did not make payments.
Which I don't know why, because we told people to make payments. We told people don't wait on the government.
1% of the people listened to us and they went, oh yeah, we've been debt free now for like years, Jade.
Yeah, that's right.
We got rid of that. We're not even worried about that. We don't care about the headlines. So here's the headline from Yahoo. The restart of student loan payments is going to pressure the strong U.S. consumer as 34% of borrowers say they'll be unable to make payments.
I think that is very conservative. That 34%.
That's just the honest people.
Yeah, because think about it, George. Before this, in 2019, before this pause ever even happened, 50% of people were either in default, forbearance, they were not paying their loan. So I can't understand what has changed to bring that down to 34%. So I think that's being very conservative.
Yeah, the average payment is between $300 and $400, and only 29% of consumers who have federal student loans are confident they'll have enough money to start making payments without adjusting spending in other areas, Morgan Stanley said. Yeah. Meanwhile, 37% said they'll need to cut their spending in other areas to make the payments, while 34% said they won't be able to make them at all. And in this case, the restart of payments will negatively impact low-income households the most, according to the survey.
Well, yeah, let's be honest.
Not a lot of shockers there.
Well, no, because people said when this pause happened, they were like, ooh, I've got this money back in my budget. I mean, we've seen the stats that said most people, on average, earned $15,000 back from not having to make their payments, right? And so that money, George, was not spent on paying down their loan. It just went towards, I'm guessing, car notes.
It probably felt like they got a raise.
Yeah, they're like, I'm living.
Lifestyle creep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, this says a segment of consumers start to feel the pressure heading into the fall. Discretionary spending categories could see the biggest decline if consumers need to tighten their belts.
You think?
No, duh. We're going to need to stop spending money on crap we didn't need to buy.
Basic. Yeah.
This article is just brilliant.
You know, yes, it's highlighting what I think is very obvious, which is people had this money to spend. Now they're not going to have this money anymore.
We need to make a change.
We need to make a change. And the biggest thing is like, don't let this mess around and creep up on you. You know, there's a little bit of leeway here for people to start looking at their budgets, start looking at their lifestyle and going, okay, I know this payment's coming back. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. I'm going to start figuring out what this means for me.
Yep. Christmas is on December 25th every year.
Yeah.
July 4th is on July 4th every year. Fun fact.
That's right.
And
Grandma's birthday is Grandma's birthday. That's right.
Don't act surprised. And here's the scary part, Jade. Here's another article that was very worrisome from MSN. Student loan, quote, hack backfires after forgiveness fails.
Ooh.
So here's what happened. The Department of Education suggests 9 million borrowers are eligible for refunds for the payments they made at any point during the student loan moratorium that's been in place since March of 2020. Borrowers have received refunds. How many borrowers have received refunds remains unclear, but many of those who did were banking on forgiveness, leading them to use the cash for other expenses.
Oh!
So TLDR, let me tell you what happened here.
Yes.
The student loan company said, hey, you've made all these payments. We can just refund you that money. And people thought, wow, that's amazing. Here's what they did. They reinstated your loan balance.
Yes,
so
they
if
did.
they gave Jade a $10,000 refund for $10,000 in payments she made, they give her the check, but they also reinstate the loan balance.
Yep.
So she owes $10,000. Then they said, all right, good luck. The government will forgive them, right? You'll be fine. And here they are.
So you would have had to hold on to that $10,000 until Biden's administration said go.
And I bet my bottom $10,000 that very few people did that.
I know for a fact, George.
That money is gone.
I follow folks on social media. Number one, so many poo-poo influencers were telling people to do this, George. This is why you got to be so careful where you take your financial advice. So many influencers were saying, yeah, go get your refund, get your money, just hang on to it.
It wasn't a stimulus check.
It wasn't a stimulus. And I know these people, I've seen them now posting going, holy crap, there's not going to be forgiveness. I spent that money and now I'm back in debt to the tune of 10 and 20.
Yeah, you paid off your debt and they gave you another loan.
Yes.
Essentially is what happened.
Yes. And nobody hung on to that money. It was like radioactive in your account. You know, you got this $10,000 back and 10,000. I mean, that's a trip, George. That's a down payment on a house, you know, or towards it. People used this money because it was just sitting there like a hot potato in their account. And now they're up a creek because
they're back to where they were.
Yeah. Because that forgiveness did not come through and it's not coming through. And I hate that for them.
Y'all, stop listening to politicians. Stop believing in their false promises.
Yeah.
Stop listening to influencers who are telling you to do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It's common sense. Get out of debt, stay out of debt, have money in the bank, invest for the future.
And when you do that, whenever that carrot tries to dangle in front of your face, you'll just slap it out of the way.
That's right.
You won't even care about it.
So you need to be on a budget if you're not today and figure out where you're going to cut spending. Because this article is telling us people are going to have to make some changes in their You think?
Yeah.
You got to figure out how not only you're going to make the $400 minimum payment, but how you're going to be able to put $400 on top of that.
That's
and
right.
on top of that to get rid of this debt once and for all. So, you know, we got some flack for our post we did, Jade, about the student loan forgiveness. Like, they're happy and they're gloating. No, I'm not happy. Well, here's why I'm happy. The ball's back in your court,
That's
America.
right.
You're not wishing and hoping and watching the carrot dangle in front of you. You're like, crap, I'm in control now. It's my responsibility. What am I going to do next?
If I'm you, I am, and I have been you, by the way. I have had student loans, and I had student loans back in 2008, 2009 during the Great Recession, the worst time ever economically in my lifetime. And if I'm you, I'm getting on Every Dollar tonight. I'm downloading it if I never had it before. If you're not sure what Every Dollar is, it is our budgeting software here at Ramsey. It's the best software out there. And I'm going to start looking at my budget. It's easy to load the numbers in. I'm going to start looking at what am I making? I'm going to list all my expenses in there. And I'm going to look to see, okay, what is it going to look like for me? Because if you don't have money saved, you might need to put a little money aside. If you've got other debt besides your student loans, you might have to start on those first while you're making minimum payments on student loans. But Every Dollar is going to help you see all that listed out, guys. And you're going to see how quickly, get this, because I know I'm about to blow your mind, you could actually pay off your student loans and not just make boo-boo minimum payments.
Ugh. That's what got us into this mess. People have been paying on this stuff for 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're mad because their balance has increased because they're not making enough payments. If your interest is high enough, or you went to forbearance or one of these shortcuts or these income-based repayment plans, which are the worst because you never pay off the debt, the balance just skyrockets.
Yeah.
You got to get out of this thing by making extra payments. That's the debt snowball. Smallest to largest, minimum payments on everything except for that first one, the smallest one we attack.
And how would it feel, George? I know you've been there. I've been there. We've all been in the situation where economically everything's going crazy and you're in it. You're right in the middle of the tornado, getting caught up in all the economic, political stuff. How good does it feel to fly above that, to finally get that out of your life to where you're not part of it? Guys, this stuff goes in cycles, okay? This is not the last we're ever going to hear about forgiveness. This is not the last time we're ever going to have a weird economy, okay? Next time, make it like, put it in stone. Next time, you're flying above this. By the time this circles back around again, your life financially is going to be in order, and you are going to just sit back and watch everybody else be weird and get, be worried about this stuff. And your loans are going to be gone. Make that your choice today. Don't get caught up again.
That's right. On average, it takes folks following these baby steps 18 to 24 months to get out of all consumer debt.
Come on.
20 years? 2 years.
Drop in the
bucket. How's
bucket.
that for a plan? I remember paying off my 36 grand in student loans, and I was Ubering. I was lifting. I was living on lean cuisines, Jay, and I got lean. I'll tell you, I was lean, and I was doing everything I could to get rid of that debt as fast as possible, and it was so freeing to not have to wait on someone else to do it for me. And so make a plan, get on a budget, do what it takes, come celebrate with us when you're debt-free, and we'll celebrate the fact that you're not waiting on no man, no woman, no politician to change your life.
It's all
you
on
are the
you.
secret sauce, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour, and we want to help you. We want to take your calls at 888-825-5225. If you got a question about your life, your money, we want to give you that right next step and be somewhat of an unbiased third party. I can't say completely unbiased because we have bias towards you winning and getting out of debt, and that's technically a bias. So I'll give you that. But if you need a third-party opinion that's not your broke brother-in-law, the in-laws that don't have boundary issues, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of noise and a lot of inputs in our life. Social media, you saw a video and you're like, is that true? Is this a tax hack? I'm like, no, that's called fraud. Please don't do that.
Yeah, we don't have a dog in the hunt. We just want you to win.
We just tell you the truth, even if it hurts a little bit. Ashley's up next in Wichita. Ashley, welcome to the show. You with us, Ashley?
I am, yes.
Good. How can we help today?
How are y'all doing?
Great.
Awesome. Thanks so much for answering my question. My situation is I will be graduating college debt-free. Awesome. I own my car, and I've built up some savings, and I've opened up retirement accounts. So I'm wondering, what should my next steps be in my financial journey? What goals do I need to keep in mind?
Were you raised by a unicorn? How did you get here, Ashley? You're in such great shape.
Talked about money in front of us. It was a normal dinner conversation, so I've always grown up with an awareness of responsible savings and realistic expenses.
That is so awesome. And there's a lesson for you parents out there. Don't be scared to talk about money. Do it in a healthy way. That's awesome.
When exactly do you graduate?
My expected graduation is in 2026.
Okay.
And it's already all paid for?
I have a 529 with more than enough to cover all of my college expenses.
Great.
Fantastic. Okay, and you're saying, hey, what should my next steps be? Now, you've got, obviously, education for the next 3 years that you're focused on. Are you able to work part-time while you're in school?
I'm working a couple hours a week on campus, so my take-home is about $2,000 a year.
$2,000 a year. Okay. But we're just kind of just covering, you don't have many bills right now.
Correct.
Since room and board's covered all that, your meals. Okay. So your next steps, obviously, is to actually graduate by 2026 or earlier if you can.
Mm-hmm.
And leave college with as much money as possible to start your adult life.
That's right. Stack it up.
And that might mean, all right, we need a car. We need first and last month's deposit for rent.
Mm-hmm.
We need some money for a down payment on a house eventually. So you've got some big financial goals ahead of you, but the next one that's right in front of you is investing in Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. So would you recommend investing what I'm earning? I have built up enough savings where I'd feel comfortable with rent and transitioning out of school. Would you recommend investing what I'm taking home from my on-campus job or putting that into savings?
How much do you have in savings so far?
I have around $11,000 in savings.
Oh, yeah. Look, if I were you, I would continue to save money simply because by the time $11K, don't get me wrong, especially for where you are in your age, it feels like a lot of money. But when you actually get out into the world and you graduate, you're going to find that by the time you're getting an apartment, maybe by then it's time to upgrade a vehicle. Like once you really get into there, that money, although great now, you're going to want as much as possible by the time you graduate. So I probably would not invest anything. Plus, you got 3 years to go before you graduate. If you were saying, oh, I'm going to invest as a savings vehicle, it still doesn't make sense because it's too short of a time frame.
Yeah. And when you said you're earning about $2,000 a year, truthfully, once you get out in the real world and you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, that's when you should be investing because the numbers change drastically. Yeah. And so if you put that $11,000 in a high yield savings account, you could get 4 or 5% right now. We'll call it $500 a year. And I'm going to call that good. And it's not about the interest in the investing portion. It's about protecting Ashley's financial world portion. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to make $40, $50 a month on that savings account, and that's totally fine. If you invested it, you might make $100 a month. You might lose $100 a month. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you worrying about that while you're trying to graduate debt-free and kind of start this adult life. You're going to have plenty of time. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19 years old.
Wow.
You are so far ahead of the game. You are going to be a multi-millionaire if you just follow this path, graduate debt-free, begin investing as soon as you get your first full-time job. You're going to do so well.
What I love is that you're eager to start exercising that muscle. I think that's so great. Keep that fire, but do it at the right time and focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call, Ashley. Love hearing that. Inspiring. Sam is up next in Chicago. Sam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing great. How can we help?
So I'm calling because I've just created a budget, just kind of actually a new job, and just trying to figure out how to pay down some debt. Big fan of you guys, watched you guys, and understand baby steps. But I got $140,000 in student loans and trying to figure out my highest priority to take care of first.
Well, you've got the expert here, Jade Warshaw, who paid off close to $500,000 in consumer debt. And so she can definitely walk you through exactly what this is going to look like. So tell us about the debt. What is this breakdown?
Sure. So I've got $29,913 in Navient private student loans, which is the highest priority. Mm-hmm. 2 loans. One is at a variable 14.75%, and then that's only $6,500 left, which is my top priority, I think, to pay off, especially because it's the highest interest rate. And then the rest, $25,000, is the difference in the private loan. Coming due, like you said, is Nelnet, which is the public loan. That's the big chunk of things, $97,180.
One big loan?
And then yes, public loans. Mm-hmm. And then do have a lease that's coming due or to finance in January, which is about $13,000. So I think just financially it makes more sense to just pay that off, the rest residual value, rather than having to get another used car or something cheaper, or either a brand new car. So what do you guys think?
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand this. So we've got the loans, you've got private, and you've got federal. The federal ones that were $97,000, even though they're all federal, sometimes they're broken down, honestly, like by the semester you took it. So it's like,
yes.
Is it broken down in any other way, or is it wasn't just one loan for $97,000, was it?
No, yeah, you're right. It is broken down by semester. They're like $6,500 chunks. Some are $2,000, some are $1,000.
Yes. Okay.
But it all equates to that.
So you probably have like 13 or 15 different loans that make that up.
The reason I'm asking is because when we attack this debt, not just the student loan debt, but all of your debt, we're doing the debt snowball. Okay, so what that means is we're listing all of the debt, no matter where it's from, what type of debt, it doesn't matter. All of it, smallest to largest, by balance, not by interest rate. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to student loans, sometimes the first thought is like, dude, I got to pay off this other one first because the interest rate's 14% and it's a private loan, da-da-da-da-da. I really want to push you to not go that direction. I want you to go by balance. And the reason I'm telling you that, my husband and I, we had $280,000. Okay. Most of them were private. So I feel you wholeheartedly right now. But something happens in your motivation when you do it smallest to largest, because it's like, okay, there comes a time where you start looking at it by number of debts as opposed to amount of debts, right? And when you are able to go from, 16 or 18 debts down to 12 debts, it just feels great. Even if the balance, do you see what I'm saying? Even if the balance was only 6,000, you feel great because you're like, wow, I had this list of 18 and now I only have a list of 16. So I want to challenge you to start looking at it in that way. Do the debt snowball and just start working that thing out. You're going to be surprised at how quickly this goes. What's your income?
105.
All right. Look, now's the time. We're busting that income up. We're doing whatever it takes to get more money, side hustle, sell stuff, work on the side, whatever it is. But just remember, keep going on that debt snowball. It is going to work. You're going to start feeling the difference.
Yeah, start to do the math and go, hey, I want to get this thing out of my life in 2 or 3 years. What do I got to do to get there? It might mean you got to go get a second job, a third job, sell some stuff, not do the lease, drive a beater car. Those are all the sacrifices that are worth it short term so that you can have long-term freedom.
You can do it.
You got this, Sam. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Jade Warshaw. The number to call is 888-825-5225. If you're listening to this show, which you've got to be if you're hearing this, I would ask you to do one thing. The show is free. What I'm asking you to do is free, and that is, if you like the show, please share it. Subscribe wherever you're hanging out with us. Hit the follow button. Leave a review. Tell a friend. All of that stuff matters so much. We have a very slim marketing budget around here because you guys are the marketing budget. And really, that's the way life change happens.
That's right.
Jade tells me, oh, you got to go check out this podcast. It's not a promoted ad on Twitter. It's not the Instagram story ad. It's a friend telling a friend, hey, this stuff affected my life. It changed my life. It got me motivated to get out of debt, invest the right way. You've got to check this out. So tell them about the show.
That's good.
We appreciate that. All right, let's get to the phones. Anna awaits in St. Louis. Anna, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
I just got a little stage fright.
Oh, you're fine with us. It's just me.
Okay. Thank you for taking my call. Sure. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. I'm a new listener, and so far you've given me quite a bit of helpful advice. So I will just kind of jump into it. My situation has quite a few layers. I think it's important to understand that my husband and I were both 39 years old. We have 2 small kids, 3 years old and 5 years old. My husband has been recently diagnosed with a rare liver condition called Wilson's disease, and he's essentially disabled. So now he receives SSDI. He's been disabled for quite a while, but diagnosing this condition has been very difficult, and he's only received that diagnosis in the past year. And he has a pretty strong background in finance. He worked for the Federal Reserve of New York for quite some time. He began his career at PwC. So he's always been kind of the financial person in the household and was making the big decisions for us when we first met. We had good plans for our future, and then things started to kind of go haywire. He started getting sick, and essentially the symptoms of this condition, they progress over time, and if you don't identify it soon enough, the symptoms get worse, and the way it presents itself is it looks like he has Parkinson's, and it looks like he has cognitive impairments as well. So I've essentially become his legal guardian and conservator. So the last several years have been essentially kind of survival mode, and essentially me living on a prayer every day, trying to figure out
just survival mode.
Yeah, really to figure out what to do for our family. And, we've, at this point where we are, I'll just kind of jump to where we are at this point. I've already paid down about $15,000 in debt that we've had. I still have about $12,000 more to pay off. Our gross, our income at the end of the month is about $10,000. So theoretically, we should be doing okay. But because we've had so much going on in the past few years, I really my head hasn't been clear. Making so many really scary decisions have been difficult. So at this point, trying to figure out how to kind of plan for those unknown things, planning for his medical care, planning for our kids' future, planning for our retirement. I mean, we don't have any assets. We really just don't have anything right now, truthfully. We have a small 401k in his name that has about $20,000, and that's pretty much it.
So, Anna, tell me this. You have $12,000 in debt left. You're making $10,000 a month. You're trying to budget for the future. What kind of debt is this, and how quickly can we get it out of the way so that we can budget for the future with some more margin?
I think that, since I started educating myself and looking at kind of the advice you guys have been giving, I think that it would be reasonable to pay it off in the next 3 months or so and start fresh. So I think we could get there pretty quickly. I'm trying to be conservative with our spending and only, buy what we need at this point. I just know that things come up, and especially, I don't know when sometimes we'll have doctor visits, and it's not like regular. I can't always plan ahead for what kind of doctor visits he's going to have. We've been to hospital visits multiple times in the last year. We've had so many things going on. Then he has medications and all of these things,
Do you guys have good health care? Where is that provided through?
So he, being a federal employee, he retained his Federal Reserve benefits and continues to have that. And then
is there like an out-of-pocket max?
You know what? I don't think so. His coverage is pretty good, but he also recently just got Medicare since he's been disabled for at least 2 years.
Okay.
So he has that, and that's very helpful. But things, there are still uncertainties. Given his rare condition, a lot of times doctors don't really know what to do with it. So since we're fairly close to Chicago, I found a clinic out there that specifically treats Wilson's disease. So I'm going to be making the trips to go there regularly. So that's a drive, that's a hotel, that's a whole other expense because I need him to get the best care I can get him. And then thinking about our kids, I want to make sure that they are financially safe and that we can plan for our retirement, and we are also,
Anna, you're doing an amazing job. I just want to give you some credit here because what you've been going through is so unimaginably difficult, and you're going to have to give yourself grace that your financial future might look different than what you guys had planned. And like Dr. Deloney might say, you got to grieve what happened and then make a plan for what's next and look at the actual reality of the situation. And that might mean it's going to take us a little longer to get out of debt. It's going to take us a little longer to save up for the kids' college. And we just have to learn what this new normal looks like.
Yeah, I think that you've been in survival mode for so long, and you're a great manager of your household. You've done such a good job, and you've looked at every detail, and now you're continuing to do that. It's like, what about this? What about that? What about that? And I honestly think walking through this plan, you've got a good income, and that's the blessing in all of this is you have the money, I think, to do what it is that you need to do. I think for somebody like you, having a nice savings cushion is going to be something that gives you a lot of peace of mind. Because like you said, you don't always know what these doctor's visits are going to be. You don't always know what's at the end of the line here. But just rest in knowing that you're doing such an excellent job. I mean, the fact that you could have come in here said that you had hundreds and thousands of dollars of debt and you had $12K. So I think, or I'm sorry, $10K, $12K. Yes. So I think that you're doing such a good job. I just want to tell you that, from my own mouth, great job. That's all I can say.
Well, and I want to say one more thing. The big thing for you is making sure that you've got your defense and having good insurance in place. So I want you to go take our coverage checkup. You can do that at RamseySolutions.com/checkup. And I want you to check on all of your coverage with these pros to go, hey, do I have enough coverage? Am I getting the best rate? Some people might find they save $600 on home and auto just like that. Some people might find, hey, we're actually underinsured on this side. We need to be in better coverage here because that's going to protect what you have in place and protect your future and give you that peace of mind. But the faster we can get out of debt and the faster we get this emergency fund in place, which I would lean to 6 months for you guys because of your financial situation and health situation, that's going to give you that peace of mind. And I think you're going to get there fast. Are you going to stay making $10,000 a month? Is that consistent?
There is potentially I could get more. So I've been able to, I am a speech therapist. So I've been able to open up a private practice clinic that has kind of grown fairly quickly, and I have a business partner, and this is our second year in, and we've expanded fairly quickly, and that is for now the income that we've agreed upon, but there is potential for bonuses and growth and more. And awesome. So that was one of my, I guess this is kind of my retirement plan, and essentially was trying to protect this is the only way I knew how. So this is what we did.
You guys are so young, Anna. I feel very confident that, at 39 years old, you still got plenty of life to invest and to build that wealth, to get that nest egg and get that cushion, and you'll get there. I'm going to give you 1 year of Every Dollar Premium to help you as you guys navigate this budget and plan for the future. So hang on the line, and Christian will hook you up with 1 year of Every Dollar. Very thankful for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. I'm George Camel, joined this hour by the incredible Jade Warshaw, and we are taking your calls at 888-825-5225. If you've got a question, you've been a long-time listener, you want to be a first-time caller, today is your day. Call us up. We would love to help you take the right next step with your life and your money. Kua is kicking us off in Greenville, South Carolina. Kua, welcome to the show.
Hi, George. How are you? Hi, Jade.
Hi.
We are doing so great. How can we help you?
So I wanted to get your thoughts on sinking funds outside of our four walls. If we're still paying off debt, do you guys believe in having sinking funds, or is it everything you have paid toward debt?
This is a great question.
It's a
juicy
great
conversation.
It's very juicy.
Nobody wants to have these kinds of conversations, Kua. When I'm at dinner parties, nobody's like, let's talk sinking funds.
I love this question.
I know you two are great for it. So,
well, here's our thing with sinking funds when you're in debt. You do the sinking funds for the things that you absolutely need to have sinking funds for. So the vacation sinking fund is gone. The insurance sinking fund, we need to keep that. So what kind of sinking funds are you talking about?
So I was thinking more like the vehicle maintenance, I guess like what you were saying, insurance. I kind of thought you would say that about vacations, but I wanted to make sure.
Did you have the vacation sinking fund? You're like, I hope he lets me keep that one.
No, you don't get to keep
that
one.
But there's nothing in it.
Okay, good.
I feel like the car one is the one that's kind of on the fence because obviously your car has normal, wear and tear, and so you've got to have the maintenance on it. It's not something, but here's my thing, it's if you can cash flow it or not. So when it comes to vehicle maintenance, if you're able to cash flow, getting the new tire or, getting the oil changed, then I probably wouldn't do a sinking fund because that particular month, you're taking away $12 or $15, whatever it is, you're taking that away from your debt snowball, as opposed to, hey, I just know in August I'm getting an oil change and I'm going to put aside I don't know how much an oil change costs these days, but.
Depends if it's synthetic or regular or blend.
I don't even know what you're saying, George.
I'm a car guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, my husband likes the synthetic.
So do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It can be tempting to make a zillion sinking funds, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, look, I'm trying to pay off debt. I need as much of my income as I can every single month to put towards that debt. And if you can cash flow it.
And you have the $1,000, right? The starter emergency fund?
Yes.
So think about it this way. Could I cover what that sinking fund was aiming towards with the starter emergency fund? Flat tire, we can cover with a starter emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
And the oil change, we can figure that out and cash flow it in the budget when we know it's coming up that following month. Okay. So I would try to plan ahead and just put things in the budget and only leave sinking funds for things you absolutely need.
Yeah. Now, if you had a car, this is just, for fun. If somebody had a car, George, and they're like, my car's on its last leg, I feel like it's about to go out. Should I do a sinking fund to start putting aside for an upgraded vehicle? What would you say?
I probably wouldn't do it. I think I would cross that bridge when I get there because a lot of people are like, the car's on its last leg. And I'm like, it could go 7 more months.
You never know. Right.
Yeah, you never know. So
good.
when comes time to do a repair, we're going to figure out how to cash flow that. Well, you pause the baby steps temporarily, stack up cash, sell stuff, side jobs, whatever we got to do to get back on the road.
Good.
Does that answer your question, Kua? I don't know that we were super helpful.
Am I able to answer a follow-up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or ask a follow-up? I wanted to know what your thoughts were for saving up for the marriage and money getaway.
Oh.
Ooh, on baby step 2?
Yes.
Oh, no, girl. I don't know, girl.
I consider that a luxury entertainment item.
Okay.
And I wish I could be like, Kua, we're going to send you for free. I don't know that I have the power to do that.
I don't think we have the power, George.
But hang on the line. I'll get you in touch with our team, and I'll see what they can do. I make no promises. But because you called and you were brave enough to ask, I mean, you guys are in Greenville, so you would drive.
We are, yes, exactly.
So that's some gas money already
and
right there.
And it doesn't have to be the VIP ticket.
And then there's hotels, and, so there's a lot of expenses involved with traveling for an event. So,
I don't know if I would do it. I think I'd save it.
In my car.
Girl, no. When you go to this event, you want it to be the luxury that it should be. You want to be able to enjoy it.
And we even tell people, like, hey, this is for baby step 4 and beyond.
That's right.
We're not trying to take money from people who are struggling and in debt. We want to see you become debt free. We want to celebrate with you at those types of events. But hang on the line, and we'll get you in touch with our live events team. I'll have Christian connect you with those folks, and we'll see what we can do for you. Because I'd love to meet you. You just sound awesome.
Yes.
I'm crossing my fingers for you.
So
that means the world. Well, thank you so much for the call, and I appreciate the question about sinking funds. And Jay, this is a question that sinking funds are this kind of squishy thing, and people are like, I don't understand.
Let's talk about it.
And why are they called sinking funds? And truthfully, I've looked up the etymology of a sinking fund, and it's still kind of like,
It kind of sounds negative instead of positive.
We should give it a new name.
Saving fund.
That's even less exciting somehow. We'll workshop it off air.
Well, let's explain to people what it is, because I think, like you said, it is one of those topics that are like, what's the difference between a sinking fund and my emergency fund? So let's break that down for the newbies.
Yes. So a sinking fund is for a future expense that you know is coming, like a quarterly or annual bill, for example. Insurance, a lot of the times, mine is billed annually.
Right.
And so we have a sinking fund for our auto and home.
Yes.
So that our home is covered through escrow, but the auto insurance, you want to make sure that you got $50 a month going into a sinking fund, which then sits either in that checking or savings account. You might move it to a different account to keep it protected. So that $50 a month over 12 months adds up to $600 to cover your auto insurance.
That's right.
Instead of it being a big surprise in January, you're like, oh my gosh, where are we going to come up with $600 to cover the auto insurance?
That's right.
Plan for it.
I love that. And I think to the point of what Kua was saying on the last call, sometimes I feel, though, George, people do a zillion sinking funds, and I'm like, you might be able to just cash flow that junk. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that, it can be tempting to put $5 aside for this and $10 aside for that. And it's like, wait a second. Can you just, like we said, pay for the oil change? Probably so. Now, if you're saving up for a big vacation coming down the pipe, you're at a baby step 2. Sinking fund's a great idea because a vacation for a family of 4, that's expensive. That gets
You're trying to save up $5,000.
Yeah, sinking fund.
You're not going to magically have that money in a random month.
That's right.
So we've got to make a plan to get there slowly. Christmas is a great example for a sinking fund.
That's right.
I'm looking at my own every dollar budget going, what do I have in my sinking funds?
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Membership. So like Instacart membership, something that's a yearly expense, gets charged once a year. And I always try to get the discount because I'm frugal.
Come on, George.
So if I can get an annual membership discount by paying once a year instead of monthly,
yes,
I'm all about that.
100%.
And so that becomes an expense. Amazon Prime, Spotify if you pay
Where
yearly.
do you keep your sinking funds?
I keep mine in checking. And I have the amount that I know I got to match it up to go, hey, do we make sure we have this money in checking so that when it comes out, some people, they like to move it over to savings, but you got to be diligent about moving it back before that expense hits.
I like, and this is not anything for Ally. Ally Bank has those buckets.
Yes.
And I like those for sinking funds. So
I think buckets is maybe a better term. I think Ally did a good job with that one. I'll give them credit
fund
there.
buckets. Fund buckets. Fund buckets.
I think we still need time to workshop that one. But hey, if you want to check out that app I was talking about, it's called Every Dollar. You can download it in the App Store. You can go to everydollar.com/George. We've got a killer deal over there if you want to check it out, get a free trial, check out all the premium features. It will help you make a plan for your money and give you so much confidence. I promise you that.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Jade Warshaw. The number to call is 888-825-5225. So, Jade, this article, some people have been sending it to me. It's been making waves, and it's borderline hilarious. But here's the headline from notthebee.com. The average American needs to earn how much to feel financially secure? And it goes on to say, Americans feel they would need to earn approximately $233,000 a year on average to be secure or comfortable with their finances, from a new survey. That's around $19,000 a month per person. I don't know if it's household. It doesn't really say, but single people took the survey too. So, I imagine that's in there. Here's the crazier part. To consider themselves rich or possessing financial freedom, the average American would need to pull $483,000, according to the survey. They said that's how much I would need.
What? I'm confused. I'm shook, really.
That is wild. Considering the average earnings, full-time year-round workers in 2021 was $75,000, according to the Census Bureau. So they need triple that?
Well, I'm just thinking like stat-wise, like the percentage of people who earn $250 plus a year.
Well, I think when you're financially insecure, you over-index on how much I need to feel very secure.
Yeah.
When you're frightened out of your mind, you're like, I need $1 million to feel like I'm safe. And that's what this goes on to talk about. It says Americans are more than 2 times more likely to feel financially insecure than secure. only 1 in 4 said they're completely financially secure. It's probably the folks that follow the Ramsey baby steps.
I was going to say, it's the people who have good financial habits.
That's right. And the rest said, not me. And a lot of people say it's economic factors that are keeping them from feeling financially secure. Of course, they're blaming the rising interest rates and inflation and the cost of living and the housing market and lifestyle. And it's just, it never ends. But some people were honest, Jade. Some said 1 in 4 blamed high or revolving debt as the problem. Which at least they're self-aware to go, debt is my problem. Because I think, truthfully, for most people, it's debt and it's lifestyle.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, inflation. Yes, groceries. But this idea that the cost, everyone's shaking their fist at the cost of eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not the solution to your problems, is eggs being $3 more than they were.
Yeah, no, if
it's your $700 car payment.
Yeah, if egg prices going up is ruining your world, you've got bigger issues going on. That
exactly.
Is facts.
So this says, highlighting wealth gaps and varying costs of living, many Americans feel they need even more pay than the national average. And here's what's interesting. Women on average say they need to earn roughly $237K annually, or about $500,000 a year to feel rich. So more than men. I wonder if that's because women have the security gland is stronger, where they want that security even more.
I have so many questions. Yeah. George, this is evoking many questions within me.
I don't have the answers. I'm simply a message bearer.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going, okay, the more money you have, the more margin that you should have if you're handling it correctly. And a lot of folks that I know that have high incomes like this, they're not spending all of the money. Like, it's not part of they have a lot of extra that they're like, okay, I can give this and I can invest this. But it's not like, oh, great, now I can go see more movies and now I can buy more steaks and now I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you're going to come to a point where it's like, this is my lifestyle and I've just got to be able to manage my lifestyle. Anything on top of that is gravy and it's cool. But it sounds like these people just want, if you can just learn to manage your lifestyle without a bunch of creep, without a bunch of inflated habits, you would be happy probably with the $75,000, which is the average
And we've
income.
seen the stats of, hey, people who make six figures, they're living a paycheck to paycheck too. And you go, I wish I made that kind of money. I wouldn't be like that. You don't know that.
A third of people making $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. That's right.
And so if you think that income is going to just solve all of your problems, it's only part of the equation. Mm-hmm. And truthfully, the more you make, the more you're going to spend, unless you're on a proven plan where you're living on less than you make and you're investing for the future and you're staying out of debt. So I want to encourage you guys that you don't need to make $233,000 to be financially secure.
Right.
Because I meet people that visit us that do their debt-free scream, and they're teachers and they're engineers and they're making $40,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, and their life is great.
Oh, yeah.
And they can pay off their homes, they can invest for the future. And the big factor that allows them to do that is not their income.
That's right.
It's their ability to manage money instead of manage debt. And too many of y'all are in the debt management game instead of the money management game. And you think you're crushing it because you're paying off your card every month, but you don't feel like you're making you're not making traction because you're playing the credit card company's game.
That's right.
You're not building your net worth. You're just helping a credit card company sponsor their next stadium.
Come on,
start
George.
playing your own game. Start running your own race. Get out of debt regardless of your income. Yes, get your income up. And some people are trapped because they're making $30,000 a year and they need to go make more money and get some education and step into a different career. But that's not the solution to your problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I know plenty of people who make the mid-range six figures and it ain't all it's cracked up to be for them because they have not learned the principles that we teach on the show every day. And so, unfortunately, the more your lifestyle goes up, a lot of people, that lifestyle creep is so real. We need to do a segment on how to know when to,
Ooh.
When
There's a tease.
Yeah. How can you know when to upgrade your
When to
lifestyle,
increase your lifestyle
without it being the negative lifestyle creep that keeps people from.
Agreed.
Yes.
Because we get a bad rap for being like, they don't want us to spend money. No, we want you to spend money that you have and budgeted for without sacrificing your future. That's it.
Well, there's the segment right there, George. You just explained it.
All right, let's go to the phones. Walker is in Austin. Gosh, I want to make so many jokes about Walker, Texas Ranger. And I will not, Walker, because you get that so much, don't you?
I do get that, yeah.
I'm going to avoid it. I just teased it, but I'm not doing it. How can we help today?
I appreciate it. I had a question for you. Me and my fiance are about 35 days away from getting married, and we're super excited. Thank you, yeah. But we are going to combine finances once we're after the honeymoon, once we get back from after the honeymoon.
Yep. Smart.
But I think me personally, I want to push for not going to baby step 4 and just going 3B and investing. But my work offers such a good match. It's a 6% Roth 401k. And I don't know if I'm missing out if I just go 3B for a year and a half or 2 years to try to get a good down payment for the house. And I'm trying to figure out how to budget that because I only have an excess of about $700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have $700 a month after expenses, and the wedding's going to be paid for. You're out of debt. You already have an emergency fund?
Yes, sir. Luckily, we're both financial peace babies. Her parents coordinate classes, and my parents lived out FPU, and so we're in really good financial stats. We have we're ready to be at baby step 4 once we're
You guys are
combined.
so weird.
So good.
Okay.
I know, it's exciting.
I love it. So 3B, for those listening, is saving up for a house down payment. So you get out of debt, you get the emergency fund in place, then we're going to save up for the house down payment, and that's kind of this in-between investing. And honestly, it's a squishy baby step because it's a choose-your-own adventure.
Yeah.
Some people choose to invest all 15% while saving up the down payment. Some people do 0. Some people just do the match. Some people do something else. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's based on your goals, your age, your urgency to get a house, your urgency to build wealth. And for your situation, could you get that match and then do the 6% investing and the rest go to the down payment? How much slower would that cause your down payment process?
I don't know exactly. If I just took the match, I was using the free mortgage calculator y'all have on RamseySolutions.com.
Love it.
And I was using that, and it looked like I would need a pretty substantial down payment in order to meet that 25% of your take-home pay going towards your mortgage rate.
Yeah, Austin is
And
a
so
hot market.
Yeah, it's rough out here. And we're both young, and she's going to be in her internship, so she's not going to be making money for a while. So we'll be living off of my income. But to answer your question, I think it would extend it by about a year, so about 3 years in if I just did the 6% to kind of flex that muscle of investing.
Okay. If I'm in your shoes, marriage is a lot to begin with. I'm going to just rent for a while, and if it extends it by a year and we got to wait another year, I'm okay with that because I think that's going to pay dividends on the other side when you're 60 and you're going, wow, yeah, do the math on the investment calculator and go, what does that 6% turn into with your age 30 years from now? That might make you gain some patience on that side, but either way, you're going to be okay. You're going to be multimillionaires at this point, even if you invest 0% right now. So I'm not that concerned, but man, it's hard to pass up that match when you guys have done this the right way so well. Thanks for the call, man. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. This is a show about you, America, about your life and your money, helping you win. Are you seeing a theme here? You are the secret sauce. You're the main event. You're the main character. We want to give you that main character energy. If you feel like life has just been happening to you, we want it to happen for you, and you are a huge part of that process, and we want to see you win. So give us a call at 888-825-5225. Tiffany is up next in Denver. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hi, George and Jade. Thank you for taking my call. So
Absolutely.
we are on baby step 7.
Woo! No wonder you sound so chipper.
Thank you. We are essentially wondering how much we can spend on vacations or how we can determine how much we can.
This is such a fun question. What a terrible, great problem to have.
Okay, you do what you want to do.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more. What kind of vacation are you wanting?
Well, we have 5 weeks of vacation a year. We're dual income, no kids, early 40s,
Wow.
and we save a lot and invest a lot, try to be generous givers also. But the more we go on, the more we just like to vacation. We really like to cruise. Wouldn't mind, honestly, doing several a year.
Let's
But we
go.
also want to save a lot for for retirement. I mean, we'd rather sacrifice now to have more later. And that's where we're really struggling with how much can we spend now?
I think as long as you're doing the things that you need to do, right? Like, let's just say you've already set aside a certain amount that you're wanting to give, whether it's a percentage or a certain ratio, and maybe you've set aside a certain ratio for other things, like you said, continuing on with retirement. As long as you're not touching those things, it's kind of like that same principle as before. As long as you're doing the things that you need to do, you have the margin to do the things that you want to do. And I mean, my guess is that, how much do you guys earn?
I think about combined $264.
And what would be like an outrageous vacation? It would blow your mind if you spent that much on a vacation.
We did last year. We spent 13 on one, but we have 5 weeks, and so we want to go on more than 13 a year.
So even if you did a few of those a year, that's still not touching your world and your investing and your bills and your giving. And so I feel like there's no specific ratio where I'm like, don't ever spend more than 3% of your total.
Right.
We don't have a ratio like that, especially in baby step 7, where you really do have so much more options. And I think as long as you guys are in agreement and nothing is out of control and you're never going into debt, there's no amount that I would say, hey, yeah, if you were going to spend $100,000, I would be like, okay, I'm going to barf just thinking about that. But spending $13,000 when you make $260 and you're totally debt free with no house payment, I mean, your next goal, you want to be able to enjoy it when you're in your 40s, you know? Not just when you're one day when we're in our 60s, we'll do a $13,000 vac. You want to do this stuff now while you've got the energy.
What do you have in retirement so far?
I think between the two of us, investments and our 401k and TSP, maybe about $2 million total.
Girl, look, I'm going back on what George said. If y'all saved up for a really long time and had $100,000 on a vacation, I am not even mad.
It really would not be that big part of your world. You know, like if Dave Ramsey would hear, he'd be like, that's like, me buying a biscuit.
That's a biscuit. Yeah.
He loves the biscuits. And so I think you dream it up, budget for it, and do it.
Pay cash, baby. That's so cool.
This is why you guys did this stuff, right? It's so that you had options and margin, and you can do this kind of stuff. You can do this outrageous stuff, including giving, including spending, including investing. I mean, I don't know many people that are in their 40s with $2 million and no debt. And that doesn't even include your house.
I mean, by the time you guys actually retire, it's going to be popping off. You guys are doing so well. I'm so proud of you.
Tiffany should be behind this desk teaching us all how to get there.
I know, right?
You are incredible. So proud of you guys. Send me some photos from vacation because we're behind this desk. We're not out there.
Yeah, I want to go.
Take us with you.
$100,000 vacation, take me.
I can't even imagine what I would spend $100,000.
George.
I mean, that's like multiple overwater bungalows, like for my entire family.
Yeah. Well,
for 3 weeks.
you gotta, if you're taking a leave of absence, so part of that is probably like to account for income, like pay loss. So you've got to think about that.
Well, they have 5 weeks. They got plenty of time to take off.
Yeah, that's true.
They're doing the PTO.
But I'm just saying, I don't know if you can spend that in 5 weeks. I feel like you need an extended leave.
It'd be a challenge for me to do that.
Let me plan it.
I bet Dave Ramsey could do it because he's on a vacation right now, and I'm like.
Dave once encouraged me to buy a $500 bottle of wine, and it blew my mind. So I know Dave could do it.
Yeah, I'm too frugal for that. I'm like, I can't. I'm not a sommelier. I can't tell the difference.
He was like, let me see what you think. He was like, if you make I think the person made $250,000. He was like, buy a $500 bottle of wine, and I had to clutch my pearls. I'm scared.
I'm too Middle Eastern for that. I'm like, my parents are immigrants. We can't be out here flaunting that.
He's right, but I was like, ooh, okay.
I will accept Dave's generosity if he wants to do that for me.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, he wasn't the one buying it. He was telling other folks.
Yeah, so if someone else buys it, I'm like, good for you. You deserve it.
Good for you.
Treat yourself.
I don't know if I could do it.
No, I'm not there yet.
I'm not there.
All right. Ashley's up next in Cleveland. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for taking the call.
Sure. What's going on?
So we've been working the program, and we are at the point where we're ready to invest our 15%. Well, we're still working on our emergency fund, but shortly we'll be investing our 15%. But our situation is a little unique, so I'm wondering if you might advise me to pay down our mortgage first.
Okay,
And
walk
the
us through it.
uniqueness is that my husband is disabled from the military, so they gave him a retirement package at the age of 35.
Mm-hmm.
And we will receive non-tax income from him for the rest of his life, including insurance benefits and things. So we also have an insurance plan that if something was to happen to him, I continue to receive those benefits for the rest of my life. I'm also working. I'm a teacher. So because we are set up for retirement already, I'm wondering if it is a benefit to just pay down our mortgage quicker and then invest the 15% or maybe even more at that point.
So what does this retirement package look like?
His income is $4,100 a month, non-taxable, and we are on TRICARE. So TRICARE is a pretty all-inclusive program. Our medical bills are very low, if any.
And that income is not taxable?
Correct.
Okay. So we're basically $4,000 take-home pay forever, and that's your retirement plan right now?
Yeah, and that increases with cost of living. So every year there's a small raise. It's usually not a huge raise, but it does increase.
The way I'm thinking about this is, George, is similar to the way we might treat like a pension or something like that, right? Whereas we say to invest 15%, but if you have something like a pension, you're not counting that as the whole amount, right? You're saying, oh, if my pension gives me 7%, okay, yeah, but we can't control it, so let's count it as 3.5%, that sort of thing. So I'm kind of wondering if you might look at this and say, okay, instead of investing 15%, have this account for whatever that percentage is. Let's say it accounts for 3% of that, that sort of thing, and run it back like that.
I'm just wondering, I haven't met anyone that's like, man, we put 15% away and we just ended up having too much money in retirement. That blew. And so I'm kind of in the boat of like, what would it look like if you still invested 15% and then aggressively paid off the house using some of this income? How much longer do you guys have on this mortgage if you did that?
It's a due mortgage, so we still have 14 and a couple months, 14 years and a couple months.
Okay. And what do you say? What kind of mortgage?
I said it's a new mortgage.
Oh,
it's
a new mortgage.
Oh, so you just started. Okay.
Got it. Well, I would see how much we can allocate. Do some math and go, hey, if I invested 15% of our household income and then the rest went towards the mortgage, how quickly could we pay it off? And my guess is you're going to look up and say, oh, we could do this in like 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's no big deal.
And you guys have time.
So I just, I don't want to rely on, I don't know what life's going to look like in retirement. And so I don't know that $4,000 a month is going to be enough. What if you guys want to do something outrageous and give more and spend more and go on a $13,000 vacation? And that's why I say I would invest to be on the safe side and be on that side of history. But either way, you guys are doing great. Thanks so much for the call. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. That'll preach.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Edison once said, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work.
Come on.
Ain't that the truth?
So the question you need to ask is, are you smarter than an ant?
I would like to think so, but I mean, America's broke and these ants are at least, they're like, hey, we got to eat this winter.
Okay.
Like they're storing up, you know what I mean? So
it's a good question to ask tonight at dinner.
Yeah, that's fun dinner conversation. Just don't get in a fight with your spouse. All right, let's go to the phones. Matt joins us up next in Detroit. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hi, my name is Matt from Detroit. I was curious if paying off our current home right now is the best solution for us, or being in the market and looking to purchase and upgrade a new home.
Okay. So tell us more. Are you already planning to upgrade? Where is the house move coming from?
Yes. So our house is getting smaller. My wife just gave birth to twins about a year ago, so it's starting to move around.
How big is it?
It's 1,300 square feet. There's no open concept. There's just like one living room that was good for just us, and even when the babies weren't really moving. Now they're moving around, and we're just realizing we need a bigger space. But we're not at the point to where it's a must yet. However, we are dabbling in the market.
Are you guys debt-free other than the mortgage?
Yeah, we have a mortgage that runs us about $1,100 a month, and I have a $500 a month car payment. Other than that, we're debt-free, and the note is left at like $17,000.
How quickly could you get that car paid off?
I could do it tomorrow if I wanted to.
Whoa, you got the money.
Yes, we have a decent amount of money saved.
How much?
And about, between the both of us, we have around $270,000.
Goodness gracious.
That's great.
Where did that come from? Just steadily over time?
Yeah, just a lot of savings, and I paid off a lot of student loans in the very beginning, and my wife and I are both working. Mm-hmm. She's working only 3 days a week, so after she gave birth, she was working 4 days a week, but after she gave birth, she went to 3 days to, so she could spend more time with the kids.
Okay.
What do you both do for a living?
She's a dentist, and I'm in IT with a Fortune 500 around here.
Wow.
So great income, I'm guessing. What's your income?
Together, combined, I'd say it varies depending on a bonus, but I'd say safe bet around $250,000, $260,000 a year.
Good job.
Both of us.
And what's left on the mortgage?
$120,000.
And what's the house worth?
Right now, it's looking around like I would say I could probably get $220,000 for it easily.
Okay. So after fees, let's call it, a little under $100,000 you might walk away with if you sold it today?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe I would, put it for sale by owner to get rid of the real estate costs, but that might just...
Nah, I definitely use a pro.
You would?
Yes, 100%.
They're going to market it, and it's going to be so dialed in that you will make more, and it will cover the fees. That's how I've seen it.
That's like somebody walking up to your job and being like, I could probably do it myself. You'd be like, no, you can't.
No. But either way, Matt, here's the thing. I'm looking at the numbers, and either if you pay down the mortgage, you just have that equity built in when you go to sell, and you'll roll it into the new house. So I don't see it as an either or. I like actually putting it onto the mortgage because it's a forced savings plan, and it stops me from doing other things with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to upgrade the car. I'm going to get a renovation. So I like you paying down this mortgage in the meantime. And honestly, you got $260,000. Why not pay off the car and the house tomorrow?
I agree.
Man, wouldn't that be a feeling?
Yeah, I was watching some of your things, and that's what or some of your videos on YouTube, and that's what made me call in, because we're looking at a home, we're looking to upgrade it. Honestly, we're looking to build.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's going to cost us. We're in the market for around, I don't know, $600,000 range for us. But I didn't know if this is too premature. I was thinking we pay everything off, wait a couple years, build back, come into the market with, I guess, more liquid cash.
You definitely could do that. I mean, like George said before, this is really more about your timeline. I like the idea of getting free from the debt, including the mortgage. Then it kind of opens up your priorities to see, you might get into that debt-free lifestyle and feel like, you know what, this feels so good. Like, I know we've got the twins in the house, but we've got so many options now. And you might decide to wait it out and save up more. Or, again, just because you have the paid off mortgage, you're still building equity. So it's not like there's nothing lost. There's only something gained,
So if I'm in your shoes, Matt, I'm paying all this off tomorrow. $17,000 car loan, gone. $120,000 mortgage, gone. That still would leave you, based on the savings you talked about, still leave you with $120,000, right? In liquid cash.
Yeah, absolutely it would. And that's just getting rid of that much money is kind of, it would
hurts.
feel great.
Because you worked hard to do it, and you love seeing that balance, but it's kind of a false illusion because you owe $120,000 on the other side and $17,000 in car payment with interest. And so I'd want to get completely debt free, stop paying lender's interest because you are too smart for that and you make too much money to be doing that. And then you have $120,000. Now we can start making a plan. All right, how much down payment do we want to put down? What kind of house would that get us? What if we could do it with cash? Now you have some options.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well, and it just feels good to hear that from someone else. And that's the boat we're in. I was also thinking, well, we could sell the house right now. I would take, maybe $80K equity and, build a pool or whatever when we throw down a 20% down payment. But I'm looking at the mortgage, and we're talking that's going to be, maybe $5,000 with utilities, like all in a month.
Well, you guys make $260, and so I would be looking at these numbers going, all right, we're going to do a 15-year fix no matter what. We want the payment to be a quarter of our take-home pay. That will start to dictate what kind of budget for the home you get. I want you obviously to put down 20% or more with your income and your situation, and you'll be able to do that. But don't get too crazy on the other side and go get a $1 million home and go, well, we'll figure it out. Make a plan, do the math, pay off all your debt, and it's going to feel so good when you get there, man. Thanks for the call.
Such a great point, George. I feel like in his situation, it's a great situation, but it can also be precarious because there's a lot of money lying around here. There's a great income here. It can be very easy to not be as detailed as you need to be, end up with too much house because it's like, oh, we got money, we got income.
We can kind of out-earn
We can out-earn some of this. No, it's the same. That same equation works no matter if you're making $60,000 or $260,000 when it comes to this next home purchase and making sure that it falls within those guidelines.
Yeah, a lot of diligence there. All right, let's try to take a real quick one. John in Knoxville, get right to the question, John. We're up against the clock.
Hey, guys. So I'll be quick. I'm a medical student, and my wife, she works a pretty normal job. We want to set up ourselves well for investing. We're 24 and 23. Wanted some advice from you guys how we can maybe invest to pay off some med school debt and then also just set ourselves up well for life.
Cool. So you're both in school?
Yeah, I'm a med student. She's about to start her master's.
Okay. So what's the current income?
Current income, household altogether, will probably be about $60,000.
And that's today?
No, that starts in about a month.
Okay. So 1 month from now, we're making 60. How much debt do you guys have?
Right now, we've got a current about $20,000 in education, and we got $15,000 on a car.
How are you guys paying for education?
Well, when it comes back, we actually don't have to pay on it yet, but we have to start paying on it in like a month or two. And so when that starts, we were just going to pay.
So you're taking loans actively taking loans for education?
That's right. Yeah, for my medical education.
So you still have more loans to take out at this point?
That's right.
Oof. Well, you're not going to like our answer, but you're not going to invest your way out of debt. I wouldn't invest until you guys clean up this mess, and I would try to cash flow the rest of it and avoid more bleeding, aka more debt.
Yeah, because at the rate that you're borrowing, what do you project will be the final amount of debt when you graduate?
When I graduate, I think we'll be at $360.
Ooh, no, sir. Don't do it.
John.
Don't do it, bud.
Dude, this is going to only hold you guys back, and I would not invest a dime right now because you got to act like you're broke because you guys are broke. And I would try to cash flow as much of this as possible. I would not take on any more debt. If you need to pause these career dreams for a while, but dude, walking away with $360 in debt is going to be a nightmare.
Find a program that'll pay you to go to school. I know they're out there.
Get creative, but I would not continue down this path, my friend. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Until next time, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.